Hello everyone, welcome to Boost League. It's a Monday, about 7 o'clock. We're getting started a little late, but
yeah, it's all right.
Boost League tonight is going to be King of Speed format. So in order to get that going, Jason, you're going to go down and talk to our drivers, I guess?
Yep. Yeah, I think they thought they were going to, they're all running a race to warm up, and then I'll go down and go through it. And just up top here, I guess, I'm Jason, this is James, and he owns K1, North Canton, love it. But we get to take it over once in a while for the leagues. It's a lot of fun.
Normally we're racing on Monday nights, so we decided to step into the booth tonight to try something with the stream, to do a little bit different with commentary and see if we can up our game a little bit on the live stream side.
I love it. So for the first one, it's gonna be a lot of fun. Breaking into this end of it of live streaming the races and getting used to all the equipment and cameras and all that. So I'm sure you guys will love it, but we're adding to it as we go. So we're excited. So drop down in the comments, definitely let us know what you guys think, and we can certainly take that into our opinion bank in our brains, I guess, as we build this out. So
I think the guys are going to run a race to practice before we run King of Speed. So as Jason heads down to the pits to start there, I'll hold down the fort for a few minutes.
Sounds good. See you guys in a little bit.
And check on Twitch to make sure that the audio is working too.
Right. YouTube isn't YouTubing.
So like I said, good evening. If you were joining us on the Twitch stream, this is our Monday Night Boost League. We start at 7 o'clock right on the dot. So like I said, good evening. If you were joining us on the Twitch stream. The guys are going to go up for a practice session right now. This is just going to be a regular time session. What the heck is Marshall doing? There's Ruth. So let's start again, shall we? So if you suffered through that, we'll just start with this. So tonight is Boost League, and Jason's going to introduce the format here in just a couple minutes, but our Boost League does run on Monday nights, and that enables the green button on the steering wheel that gives 15% extra acceleration to the cars. And
it came through something weird.
because of that, it changes the characteristics of the car completely. So it accelerates, obviously faster, but it also carries a little bit longer. And it also stays on for 4 seconds. So when the drivers hit that button, they've got to be somewhere on a straightaway or somewhere where they're ready to take on that power. Because once it kicks on, the car is going to continue to accelerate. And you don't want to hit that before you enter a turn, because that will obviously probably throw you wide, and that slows your time down. So instead of the boost being effective for you, it actually hurts you a little bit. So you have to time it correctly. You also have a limited number of boosts in the car. You have 50, and I know that sounds like a lot, but when they only last for 4 seconds, you can actually end up using 2 to 3 boosts per lap. And if you're not careful throughout the race, you could basically wipe out your entire boost very quickly. And that happens once in a while. So sometimes you've got people who will use all their boosts.
We're going to do a quick meeting, so everybody bounce out here real quick. So 2 and 2. So King of Speed style boost night. Yay!
I'm supposed to interview.
Awesome. Yay! Right. So King of Speed style. So what we're gonna do is the 2 and 2. Everybody's run King of Speed before, so
That's great.
loser out of that one. So you get 2 chances. So if you win, great. You're on to the next one. If you lose, you're on to the loser. At the end. Yippee-ki-yay. So if you screw up, bad cart, whatever your complaint is, the first one, you get a second chance to do it in the loser's bracket. So the bracket is a link that Rachel has sent to me. I'll get it all to you guys, and hopefully we'll have it on the stream here in a second. I emailed or text James the link to it. So we'll just run a live bracket, and then you guys can watch the live stream for the live bracket if you want that. But you guys will obviously know what's going on because there's 8 of us. So me and James are taking a break upstairs because we're going to get this dialed in so we can go live every time and kind of get that stuff dialed in. So have fun. It's random draws for all of them, I believe. Yeah, so random draws for everybody.
Internet generator.
Yep, random internet generator. Is that already on there? Who's up?
No, I have Kara on my lap.
Okay, cool. So we'll get the running order now, and then we'll get running. So we'll kick it back to James, and we'll explain it more in the booth. Thank you.
How many laps are there for
Regular race.
so 12 and 12?
I believe so.
That's gonna be a lot of racing.
Is it 10? I forget. It's not a full. It might be 10 laps. I think it's 10. I don't think it's a full race, but it's 10, 10, 10.
And then it's your best time, it's not your average time, correct?
Yep.
Best time. Yeah,
Best time,
best time.
not average time. How do you auto record?
Everybody's warming up their tires.
Remember-
we're going to adjust the lap count from 12 down to 10.
We either have to switch it or we have to go to that because it's not
It's a
recording.
little bit shorter than an average race.
They still on 4?
Do you have it on your phone?
What?
The gears of what we're doing here with changing the cameras at the same time as
You might actually have to go
I'm
through
waiting for
online.
Jason to help me out because there's nobody sitting next to me to help me out with commentary. So,
You have to go through like online.
all right, here we go. First time lap will be running through.
4 or 5?
I told him to let me know.
4, 5? Yeah,
And we
4,
only have
5,
8 laps,
yeah.
so a normal race around here is 12. This camera really needs to adjust. So we'll just stay with Owen. Armand stopping in
Start 23.
for some reason. Talk to
I don't
the
know. Should have boost. Try it.
Signed in on
Of
my
course,
mind.
Corey's the only one who actually has his name on the scoreboard, so I'm gonna have to do a translation here. If I start referring to somebody like Stitch or Owen, you're gonna have to translate that because the scoreboard is showing everybody's friendly names, which it probably shouldn't for this kind of competition. But honestly, I need to get Jason up here because I have to.
What
do
date
this
was
at the same time as
the
competition.
12 hours 3?
March 17th.
Let's just stay with Owen. This is much better. All right, so we're 5 laps in. We've got Stitch, who has the fastest lap. He is leading by 0.08 with Corey, and Armand is in fourth. He's the one who shows not having. He doesn't have a boost button right now, so that is probably in fourth. With
Go
6
down.
tenths off the lead lap.
Go up a little bit. Oh no, shit, it's on.
Oh, okay,
I'll
cool.
pop up after you.
Okay.
And let's flag this one out for this lap. This will be the last timed lap. If you haven't taken the fastest lap, now's the time to do that. Right now, we've got Stitch in first. That was MC Purple. That means it was the single fastest lap. And it was followed by Corey and Owen. Now, Owen is head-to-head right now with Armand. So the winner of those two will advance to the next round. And then Corey is right now head-to-head with Marshall, otherwise known as Stitch. So you've got 2 pairs of drivers here. And that'll be Marshall winning over over Corey. And then Owen taking over for Armand. Now, was Armand saying that he didn't have boost?
Yeah, so he was saying he didn't have boost. Turned the cart off, turned it back on, and he was good.
Why is Owen getting out of the cart out of turn 1?
Well,
Is it just because it's Owen?
probably.
Or they're just leaving the cars on
Oh,
track?
they're swapping carts. So King of Speed,
Oh, gotcha.
8 and 8.
Gotcha. So we will switch back over to the cart cam. This is really hard to switch and commentate at the same time. Plus, I really need to go to the bathroom, so I need to run and do that real quick.
Go do it. What do I click?
You can click any one of these program feeds.
Awesome. All right. I'm in the driver's seat.
Oh, heaven help us.
Oh, I know it.
Just what he's always wanted.
All right, who are we riding with here? Let's see. All right. So this will be their warm-up lap. So they're trying to create a little space for themselves. Alright, Armand is the one that we're riding with on the kart cam here. You guys will see he is a smooth driver. Now with King of Speed, typically these guys won't be really getting into it. They'll try to space themselves out a little bit and give each other some room. As you can see on the track here, everybody's spaced out pretty good because they're going for the fastest time. So King of Speed's based on your fastest lap, not your fastest average. So they're racing the clock with King of Speed. It's by. I was happy to be up here because I'm more of a Sunday driver. Give me someone to pass and I'm happy. These guys are very, very consistent and very fast. But really, it's a little bit of practice. I mean, some of these guys, like Derek and Andy, they've only been here for 5 or 6 months, maybe a little longer. And within a few races or so, they were really doing pretty well. And especially if you see any of us here, we'll definitely show you the line, help you improve on it. But that's why they're spaced out so much. King of Speed is very time-based.
Did you see me running down there?
I did, yeah. We caught it in the back corner there on the camera. Yeah, Armand is the one that's in the, he's got the kart cam on.
So now we did determine that the winner is the single fastest lap, not the average lap.
That's correct, yeah.
Okay.
So single fastest lap. So that's what I was saying, is that everybody's really spread out. So unlike a lot of boost leagues where it's very position oriented, very position based competitive, these ones everybody gives themselves some space so that they can really try to set their best time. Sometimes you'll see people kind of gang up on each other so they can follow the other person's line, but for the most part they space themselves out.
Yeah, you definitely want to set fast lap times, not get stuck behind somebody.
Yeah.
So we need to look and see what time Stitch had. I don't like having their friendly names up there today. We need to change that.
Yeah. It was just funny because Corey is just Corey.
Armand. He's got his last name thing.
Yeah, Stitch, who's Marshall, is just really fast.
And just recently, really.
Yeah.
I mean, he's
been like a 26 driver for a long time, and then all of a sudden he hit the 25s and he just kept dropping.
Yeah, it was like once he hit, well, let's see, he's raced over 600 races here. It's like once he hit that 500 threshold, his times really started to drop. And he came that one day and said, I figured something out.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so.
Yeah. But really, I mean, it's. I was telling the stream, like, you can stop in here. If any of us are here, we'll show you a line. And, first time you come out, 29, 28s, something like that. And then once you get a basic line and you're in the 26s, anything under 27, you become pretty competitive in these leagues. Because, the time-based stuff like this, it's like, holy crap, a 25-1 is really fast. But, can you drive it endurance style? You've got the endurance series, and then, boost is competitive, position-based, and GP is a little of both.
Yeah, and sometimes, 25.5s or 25.7s are not something you run for an entire race either, so
right.
That's good for a 12-lap race, no problem, but when you get into the endurance, you easily set in the high 25, 26s, and some people are worried if they can't hit a 25 that they're not competitive enough. It's like, no, just come to the league because you can compete in a low 26, high 25s.
Yeah, I'm a Sunday driver. Put someone in front of me and tells me to get by them, and I'm all for it. I like getting in the head of someone. If you're right behind them and they know you're right there, and you choose when to tap them, because some people just go out and fly around and you just kind of hover around them and watch their mistake, and then you start tapping them just a little bit and they get frustrated and they mess up their line, and that gives you an opportunity. So who won that one?
So Marshall's time was a 25.28 in the last one and a 25.3. So he's the fastest. So he will win out over
Armand.
No, Armand will win out over Owen.
Oh, gotcha. So so it's Armand and Marshall in the next
bring
heat.
up the bracket here real
and
quick.
Then the B bracket is Owen and Corey.
Yeah, exactly. So whoops, I guess I can't do that at the same time.
Now we know.
Yeah, there's your winner. How come Armand has that icon in his name? Is that
I'm not sure.
Is that just like an emoji equivalent?
I have no idea. What is that? It looks like
like a sweep.
Yeah. Huh, okay, cool.
All right, now we're sitting idle. We're going to wait for them to get the next race going. looks like the next one's going to be a bunch of drivers. So we'll have Brian and Andy joining us, as well as Marshall and Armand and Derek and Corey. So are they supposed to be doing that? No, it looks like they just populated this. Doesn't look like that's the right race.
No.
This was probably just people as they came in. That's probably why. That's
see.
everybody for Boost tonight. Should I just create a new race for them?
I guess we could do it from up here so that way they don't have to.
Could. Although Rachel's down there too, so.
That's true.
This one's pending. Nope, that's the same one. Let's switch over to the kart cam.
See what's going on in the pits. Bless you. Bless you. It's that time of year. Allergies have been bad this year.
I guess it is my allergy starting.
It's Ohio.
Did our kart cam go offline?
I'm not sure.
Well, at least the mannequin's still standing.
That's right. Yeah, coming into that turn the first couple of times, you're wondering who's standing there watching you.
I need to give him a name.
We do.
Although
Is
we're
he going to
not
stay there or are we
sure.
going to move him around?
Right now it's working, so I'm just gonna leave him there.
I love it.
I said, I have an idea. People hitting that corner so hard. I said, well, I'm gonna make it. It's gonna help their depth perception. I'm gonna put somebody standing right there. So. But the problem with giving him a name is we don't know if it's a male or female. It has characteristics of both.
Got to be careful. Yep. They're sensitive to all groups. That's why I love racing, though. It doesn't matter. You
Yeah.
just get in the cart, put the helmet on.
You just put a helmet on, right?
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So did our cart cam die? I see people moving around down there. Did they set up a race? Mm-mm.
Is the GoPro still showing?
Yep.
It is. From your app? Check on that side.
Nope. Camera connection lost. Something went wrong. Got it. All right. So we will reconnect to that. Got it.
Oh, it's because our
Live stream. Setting up.
server app crashed.
RTMP. Working the bugs out the first time we do this, which is great. It's a great way to learn. Live 2, connecting to K1 speed, 1080. Good, good, good. Got it, go live. All right, try that. Does that mean turn 1's going to need reset?
Yeah, they'll both need reset.
Okay.
All right, so we've got Eric,
Andy, Derek, Rachel, and
Brian.
It looks like helmet. That's Derek, who's on the cart cam this time.
Yeah, we're in kart 15. No, I think we're riding with Andy. We're on 15.
Oh, okay.
Let's check turn 7 here as we come around. Yeah, he's up in the lead. So the first lap out is just a reconnaissance, warming up tires. You don't get timed, you don't get triggered at the timing system until you pass the start-finish line one time, and that starts the lap. and now the second time you pass it is when you actually get timed. And so now they're on lap 2 right now, even though they've gone 3 laps around. And so Andy's already up to 25.893. It's a good time to start.
Oh, yeah.
3/10 on the whole field so far.
Andy's one of those guys, he hasn't been around for a terribly long amount of time. He started, late last year or something, and just got involved with Boost, and then just followed our lines and got better and better.
Yeah, let's see if we can figure out when he actually hits the boost button. I don't think we can see that low on the screen. Nope, we're not going to be able to see his button. If you do get a glimpse of the steering wheel on the right-hand side, there's a green button that they can press it. Ideally, I don't know, when would you press boost coming around this indoor circuit?
Yeah, right now they're set for about 6 seconds or so, and if it's your first time running boost, it's always straightaways. Somewhere, well, coming out of this apex, coming up here, I would hit it, ride it through, and then about a 6 count is right here on your straightaway. Definitely, everybody uses it right here. Once you kind of get used to how boost handles, it does changes the feel of the kart 100%. So your braking is different, your lines are different, your apexes are different, everything. Once you get used to that, you can almost run a lot of the track with boost if you know how to change your driving style, but it takes a lot to get used to that. So basically straightaways, anything coming right out of this apex, boosting down your straight, and then by the time you get to your second or your first turn apex here is when it runs out. So getting used to it's really important.
And so you would never want to hit it at turn 1 or 2 because that will actually that'll actually overpower the car. Correct.
Yeah, and you'll blow through your apexes. It slows you down. So a lot of these guys on indoor, they don't use boost a whole lot except for this straightaway here. Yeah. They don't like the way it changes the feel of the driving of the kart.
Because right here, if you lift, the car's going to continue to carry into turn 1, and that's the problem with the boost, that you have to adjust when you're lifting and when you're pressing the boost button.
Right.
It takes a little bit more anticipation than when you're just driving the car normally.
Yeah.
See, for me, if I was coming around this carousel, I would hit it right here because it takes a second for it to ramp up, and then you're starting to get that power as you come around the carousel, so therefore you have it all the way down.
Yep.
And then by the time you get to turn 1, hopefully it dies off so you don't bust through into the other end of the barrier.
It will carry you too. The first time you hit it, and I know this summer with the outdoor track, we're talking about making that, Mondays, some night during the week, a boost night where, you can come and try it out. And really even just that minor change in speed and the drivability, you'll really feel it in the kart. It drives a lot different. So Rachel got a 25.3, Andy's at a 25.8, and then they're going to swap karts now.
Yeah, so Andy was teamed with Brian, so Brian is going to be our next onboard guy on kart 15.
I'm going to jump out and restart this GoPro real quick.
Okay.
Right?
Hey, but you're not in the car. You beat me in that car. In the one car, you're one
Just dying right now. surprised they're not spacing themselves out more. Of course, Andy is catching up with Brian. That's probably why the gap is less. But you don't want to be running on the same side of the track when you're trying to set the fastest lap time, that's for sure.
Okay, turn 1 camera should be back on.
Rachel's going to let him go by and just try to get some clean track space, I guess. I think you have to restart the other one too. Yes, he does. And checkered flag is out. Last flying lap will count. Rachel at the top of the leaderboard, followed by Brian. So we're going to bring up the leaderboard here again. That means Brian is going to win over Andy, and then Rachel over Derek. So Brian and Rachel will advance to the next round. Congratulations to those guys. Now we had all these times were in the 25s. So Andy's slowest time was fastest time was 25.9, but that was the slowest one of the session. Everybody under 26 doing very, very well. Now that was the second round of the stops, so they've already swapped carts. So we'll compare the numbers against the first ones, but the same on the first round as well. So Rachel was first, followed by Andy, and then we had Derek and Brian. So let's see. Cart number 2, that was Brian. His best time was a 26.7. Andy took that same cart and did a 25.9, so he was faster than that one. Derek in car 19, his time was a 25.9.
Yeah, it seems fine. It never
And Rachel took that car to a 25.5, so she knocked 4/10 off that one. Cart 15, first driven by Andy, was a 25.8. And Brian was able to take that to a 25.6, so Brian was able to beat out Andy in that by 2/10. And finally, Rachel in car 29, she started with a 25.3, and Derek did that in a 25.6. So both times for Rachel and Brian were faster in that particular heat, so they would definitely advance to the next round. Congratulations. We are still waiting for the cart cam to come back online. It's important conversations on the radio. Should we make cookies tonight? No. If you are just joining us, we're doing a King of Speed competition for the Boost League tonight. So the boost button is enabled on the cars, and we've paired everybody up 2 by 2. And the format of the King of Speed, or the philosophy behind the King of Speed, is that you drive a car, you get a time, and then you swap drivers so that the driver gets to drive the same car to see if or who has the fastest time. So that's why you'll see they'll run one session for 8 laps, then they'll swap drivers on track, and then they will let them run in a second session. So that format brings us to a bracket that we're looking at here.
no.
And they've already inputted the results, so Andy and Rachel will advance to the next round. That's going to take us all the way down to the final winner. And ultimately that winner should be the fastest driver because they beat everybody else in the same car. That's the cool thing about King of Speed format.
Well, I got a 15 and I didn't have to use boost. Rachel got a 25.4 and I had a 25.6. I didn't have to use boost on 15.
On and off track. I gotta keep it up, you know.
All right, in our next round, we now have the people who advanced from the first round. We've got Corey, Owen, Derek, and Brian.
Are you getting ready to throw that on top of this?
I'm always last ready. I gotta be first ready.
I could keep that box. Once we know.
How's it going up there?
Careful you don't hit the buttons when you click and unclick it. When you clip it and unclip it, carefully you don't hit the buttons. I'm just saying. Blanket statement.
I would show you video, but I don't have any videos right now. And I don't know where Jason went working on the GoPro.
Okay, Owen's got the cart cam.
I don't have any feeds.
I just had to reset it. And it's on number 2. Turn 1's on number 1. Cart cam's on number 2.
Yeah, I literally have no program feeds at all.
Uh-oh.
So I have no videos.
Oh, bummer.
I think OBS said that it dropped due to insufficient bandwidth, and it just dropped all video feeds altogether.
Restart it.
I think we're going to have to.
It is recording on 12 hours, which we didn't know until we double checked it.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to need a recording of this anyway.
No. All right, we'll run off the cam.
And we're back.
Hey!
Start all over again?
Right?
I mean, this has just been
Yeah.
learning on top of
Learning.
on top of everything.
Learning.
They said don't go live until you've tested all this stuff, but what do? We just go live.
Yeah, hey.
Why not?
It's Tesla, right? Or SpaceX. They just shoot rockets up and they figure they'll fail. They don't know how long it'll take, but hey,
Is that what the joke was the other weekend?
Yeah. Well, they built like a, I don't know, $40 million rocket or something and said it might work, and it exceeded expectations. But what was the term? They didn't fail. There was a term. The way they said it was so polite. Like, it was unanticipated rapid deceleration of the rocket, or so. They said it in some way that I laughed so hard. I'm like, that's the best way of saying we just blew $400 million. That's great, yeah. But yeah, so this is Corey, right? So King of Speed, welcome back to King of Speed. Here we are. And,
You're on board Corey, who is now in kart 34.
Yeah.
Let's check his time on the first heat, the last heat. We were running the losers bracket, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Let's see what he did on his first round. All right, Corey's best time was a 25.7, so that's what he's looking to improve upon as soon as we get into the first lap time.
Yep. And Owen was at a 25.71.
Wow, so they were
really
the gap
close.
Between them was
Yeah.
0.07, so it's very tight.
Let's see here, and he did 25.8. Owen's time is not registered yet. Yep, 26.3. Okay.
Now, if you're thinking you're watching a GoPro,
Right.
Because one of them's doing the live stream and one of them is actually doing recording. For
I know,
us, so.
and that's the 360 view. That's awesome for races. We upload a lot of that footage after the fact, and that's what I didn't realize how big some of those videos are. It records the front half and the back half, and you have to put them. Oh, it's crazy! It takes all night to upload that stuff, but
and it does it all in one file.
2 files, and the 2 files merge together.
Okay. So it is capturing from both lenses and putting them together, merging them together.
Yeah.
Well, if you're just joining us, we'll do a track walk around here as Corey goes past the start-finish line. This is what we call turn 1. It's a very short shoot to turn 2, followed by another very short shoot into 3, which takes you to a kink in 4. This is a kink left-hander. It's not a full turn. This is the second longest straightaway, turn 5. And then this turn 6 is what sets you up for the final, which is carousel. And technically the carousel is turn 7, but it's usually just referred to as the carousel. So that's a single lap around. The times obviously run in the high 25s. When people do arrive and drive racing, they run anywhere from 27 to 30 to 32 seconds. So a typical race is going to be about 12 laps. And what we're doing tonight is a King of Speed format, and it's shortened, so you only have 8 laps to set your fastest time.
Yeah, and the onboard camera like this gives everyday drivers, the weekend warriors, and that it gives you an idea of a really good line, but as you get faster and faster, you realize how much footwork there actually is to putting in a good lap, and this kind of gives you a great view
As
of
far
a
as
really
like
good
the
driver.
lifting and the braking
Yep.
and that kind of thing?
Yeah, absolutely. It makes or breaks it. Like when people first come to the track and they say, how do you get faster? You guys really don't use the brakes. And they don't use a brake going into turn 1 and they just slam into a wall as a new driver. And it's like, no, we use brake. It's just very little. And it's just like driving a car. You got to be very easy with it.
And the lifting of the throttle is just as important, if not more important, than the brake.
Absolutely.
Because let's say if he brakes here, yeah, he does apply a little bit of brake in turn 5. But if you look at the braking, if you're looking at the braking, it's really only 2 spots on the track. It's 1 and 5, so those are on the straightaways. Everything else, he's just going to lift. And if you get a shot of his right hand or his right foot, he's going to get back on the throttle like at the apex. Because the car takes just a second to respond. Let's pull our camera feed over. Of course, all right, let's see. Let me see if I can do this here a second. No webcam. There we go. Okay, see if we can see his right foot.
Yeah, now you'll be able to
see him lift, and then he gets back into the throttle as he hits the apex, because there's just that little bit of a delay getting the power back to the car. And it's not that the motor is delayed, it's just that you're transitioning the car from off power to on power, and then it just has that static load change on there.
We've always kind of referred to it as like a neutral position in that pedal, where if you lift your foot halfway off the pedal, coming up about 50% off of full throttle, somewhere in that range, there's almost like what we call a neutral, where it kind of evens the power out where you're at in the apex and getting right back onto it. And each kart has a little bit different feel for that, but that's an important thing.
It's really tough to find.
Oh, yeah.
If you're running an endurance race and you're trying to save battery power, it's very tough to find neutral, because most of the time you're on the throttle. That's really easy. You lift all the way off. That's easy to figure out. But then that neutral it varies from car to car.
Yeah.
Why is Owen out on track?
I think that's what they were just asking.
I don't know.
Owen is Owen.
Yeah. Well, congratulations to Corey. So he did a 25.3 in kart 34.
That's pretty good.
Fantastic time. Yeah. 3/10 off second place, which was Brian, and then 5/10 off of Derek, and then Owen, which was 0.6. Most of these guys' times were very similar, but wow, have we seen anything lower than a 25.3 tonight?
No. Well, yeah, Marshall 25.1, I believe, is what he put up.
Let's go back to Marshall's. Oh, yeah, 25.1.
And then Armand was a 25.16.
So pretty close.
Yeah, that'll be a really good race going back and forth with them.
Bring up the bracket for you real quick, hopefully. Or not.
Almost.
Yeah. Hang on a second. Let's
Okay.
go to this. Will it refresh? Yeah, it's not even registering. All right, well, we'll see if we get that bracket back there. But that was the round 2, right?
Yep, so
we did the first round of eliminations, then we brought in the losers bracket. Now we're into round 2. And they've already swapped carts. So if you're not familiar with the King of Speed format, it is you get in the cart, set your fastest lap time, and then you get out of the cart and you swap it with the person you're driving against, and then you see if you guys can do the same lap times, because it's really taking the cart out of the equation to try to tell us who's the best driver.
Yeah, really levels the playing field as far as that goes, because you can't complain that you had a different cart or anything like that. It's just the driver.
Because if you do just time-based, people will say, well, I didn't do well because the cart wasn't fast enough, or this car didn't turn left, or whatever. But
it's a huge credit. I mean, I've been to multiple different go-karting facilities, as you have too, and keeping the carts as close as they are, and every single cart out here you can get under a 27. Rachel's pumping herself up a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, keeping an entire fleet of 36 cars on pace with each other is next to impossible.
Yeah.
Some centers don't even care. They just let you drive whatever it is. Because I guess I can't blame them in some regards, because you're literally letting the public drive these things into walls all day long.
Yeah.
And it's not incentivized to keep the karts in great shape and equal playing fields and equal footings. But we like to...
It's competitive
We like
here.
to treat things a little bit differently here.
Yeah.
Put a little bit more money and time into getting those karts as identical as possible.
It gives everybody a fair shot. So, you're watching this on the stream, you're watching, people put out 25s and almost 24 times, and it's very, very fast. And I'll be the first to admit, I'm not a 25-1 driver, but every single kart out here, you can get under a 27. And once you get in that 26 range, you become very competitive in these leagues. You don't have to... King of Speed is very speed-oriented. Everybody is spaced out, you'll see on track, and it really makes it so that you give the other driver that opportunity to get their fastest time. So you have 4 people out there spaced out. But when you get into a competitive position race or even an endurance race, anything like that, the times, you've seen the score sheets, we're within hundredths of a second of each other every single lap. So it makes it really, really fun.
And you could never do this in a typical form of motorsports, because if you bring a Miata to a track day and somebody else brings an S2000, they're very similar cars, but those drivers are not going to be able to swap and run times. They're similar to
I wouldn't trust anyone in my race car to
Definitely.
swap out like that.
No, I wouldn't do that either. So it's another cool thing about indoor go-karting is you have that capability to swap things around. I'm going to look at the leaderboard real quick here. So we did talk about the losers round, which I believe we're not running that next. The next one's going to be Andy, Rachel, probably at Marshall, and Armand.
Correct.
So that's going to be the next set of drivers on track here.
Hey, Adam, it is not letting me assign the cards for the next race.
Oh yeah, because we're using them.
Have to wait for the race to finish before. Okay.
And just, yeah, you'll be able to, tell which cars are swapped and stuff.
There we go.
Now we'll be back on board this time with
Marshall. Yeah.
very recognizable helmet. There's no mistaking that one.
His nickname is Tonto, I guess, and it's a very Tonto-esque helmet.
I kind of wondered why he likes that nickname, but...
I don't know.
Because Tonto is Spanish for stupid, isn't it? I thought that's why the Lone Ranger didn't like to be called Tonto, was because of...
I thought so, too.
Maybe he doesn't know. We probably shouldn't tell him.
Well, his license plate.
Yeah, I know. Marshall, don't watch the stream.
Maybe that's why he went by Stitch instead of Tonto on the board. Maybe he finally figured it out. I don't know.
Yeah, we didn't offer to put that up on the scoreboard
No,
for him.
still a very fast driver, though. Anyway, you cut it. Marshall's one of those guys we were talking about earlier. He came in the one day, like you said, and he's like, I figured something out. And he is...
And I said, no, you didn't. You're lying. Anyway.
No, he has gotten a lot faster.
That means that we're going to watch him more closely.
Yeah, we can get off the screen so you guys can see the footwork here. We'll give away his secrets if we can. So again, it's
all really hard to pick out the nuances, because we're always talking about tenths of a second. And even if you watch somebody's footwork, or you're watching where they hit apexes or whatever, that may not tell you the full story.
Right. You have to replicate it, and it's a lot. I am guilty of killing karts in endurance races because I'm a very rough driver, but it comes down to how fluid you are in your turns. How, when you come in and come back slow, and it's all about pushing your kart to that limit of what you can actually, without breaking loose and without oversteering, understeering. It's that perfect balance that you have to find with that.
Yeah, because theoretically, he could be going around the carousel and he could feel a little loose in the rear end, like a loss of traction there, and you wouldn't know it by watching it. So
right.
It's one thing to get the general gist of the line. It's another thing to fine-tune every movement on the track.
Yep. Takes practice. And I mean, you can be very competitive after a few races here. We'll go out with you, show you a pretty good line, and you hone it in from there. And every driver that we've kind of done that with, Marshall himself, he was not part of the original group that put together, some of the series and stuff. He got involved later on, and we, we teach people how to get faster. And I remember Rachel saying to me, why do you always go out and show people lines? Because I'm like, it's fun. When people get faster, it's more fun when you race it. I don't want to go out and lap someone 6 times. I want to go out and compete head-to-head with someone.
Okay, 6 times. So
Oh, 6. That might be fun. But like, if you're going out there and just blowing people away, it's a lot more fun to compete like that, and it takes a little bit of work and a little bit of time to get used to it, but you can absolutely just get out there and have a blast in leagues just like this.
And white flag is out now, and you can see his best time already was a 25.18, and that's car 27, which is the official pace kart of the 12-hour race.
Yeah.
It's got a little bit different livery on there. Some people have complained recently that 27 was not a fast kart.
There's your proof.
This is exactly what King of Speed does, is it brings in equilibriums and it shows you what individual drivers can do in the same kart as everybody else.
Yeah.
And people come up to the counter every time not every time, but a lot of times, and they say, well, I'm heavier, I have a weight disadvantage. And I was
Right here.
Yeah. I mean, physics is physics, but there are so many nuances to driving an indoor kart on an indoor track that weight is really not the first thing you got to worry about.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I found a different line. Like, if me and Rachel can go out and put up some very, very similar times, and depending on what it is, now I do better with boost because the way that I drive, I like to power out of an apex, and that smooth motion that even you're guilty of driving, very, very smooth, very consistent. It's a really good thing to have, and for me, I want to be able to mess up a little bit and be able to power through it. But I have a little bit different of a line than some of the people do, because coming out of cars and bikes is I want to be arcing everything. So I'm not as tight.
Yeah, we've always seen you going through turn 1. It's always wide sweeping motions.
I can't help it; it's ingrained in me.
And that's weird. So you would think in most forms of motorsport that keeping momentum is the way to go. That's different in an indoor track that's so small.
Very much.
Especially with an electric motor.
Yep, but if you watch different drivers, and this is what's awesome about the kart cam like this, is their lines are all a little bit different, and they're all within hundredths of seconds of each other, tenths of seconds of each other, because you make it work. You said the weight thing, and if you find a line that works for what you're comfortable with, and you can make that kart as smooth as someone who's running a very tight line, and you keep that momentum up, you're still going to be as fast as them. It's just finding your balance in how you drive.
Yeah. See Armand giving a thumbs up. The track worker's just asking to see if he's okay because he had stopped on track. But they're running times here, so clean track is your friend. So
yeah, they gap out pretty good.
He doesn't want to be up against somebody. He doesn't want to be following anybody else. He wants as clear of track as possible, which is why part of the reason there's only 4 people on track right now.
Yeah.
Just to make sure that you have clean track and you only have to worry about setting the fastest lap. You never have to worry about it.
Armand's one of those guys too. If you ever come here and watch the racing, I know we have a big endurance race coming up. We're going to do the Twilight race, outdoor endurance race here, and the 12 hours will happen again in March. But if you ever come here and watch us race or join in the racing here, you'll see when Armand comes through any turn, his head is in the same exact spot every time. It's always tucked, and it's always. If you took a picture of him right now and in the next turn, it looks the exact same. It's awesome.
Yeah. And we talked about that on the 12-hour stream about him tucking his head. Is he going to do it here?
Yep, you can see his stickers.
Yeah. He's honestly worried about aerodynamics, and
yes,
it's not like we have a strong headwind indoors.
No, but I mean,
every tenth of a second counts.
Yeah.
And so if you're going to lower your head and get a little bit less resistance, then
I don't know about you, but and it's also a mental thing. So doing that as a driver, if you have a position that you sit, a position you put your hands, a position you put your helmet every time in a certain spot, and you're getting used to, you find your own rhythm with it. So, there's days that you come out here and you might be having a bad day or whatever it might be, and you're just your head's not in it, and you feel loose and you drive worse. And then there's days that your head's really in it and you just have a perfect flow for whatever it is. And I think we're all kind of guilty of it. If you're not replicating your perfect lap, whatever it might be in your own head, then you get kind of messed up on that.
And you don't want to mess it up in the middle of a race.
No. That's why I like position-based stuff, because it's always like, no matter what you're doing, you're always focused that next guy in front of you. And if you're in first, you're driving your line, but you're also using peripheral to kind of see if anyone's creeping up on you, and looking at different turns to see who's behind you.
I thought maybe we'd change the layout a little bit so that way you can watch the foot or the feet action. Is it
Yeah.
the foot action or the feet action? The feet action?
Foot action.
Feet is
yeah.
the plural, so that'd
Yeah.
be the feet action.
And look, his knees are out because Armand's a very tall guy, so his knees tuck out. Like if we have a shot with Rachel running, her knees are basically under the steering wheel. So it's kind of cool to see everybody's different driving with that.
Yeah, it's basically what can you do to fit?
Mm-hmm.
So this is the second phase of the King of Speed. The first time we had Marshall in this car, and then they got out and they swapped. So it's Armand's time to drive this car, and so now they're going to compare the times for
He's at a
this
25-1.
particular car. Yeah.
Yeah, 25-1 and kart 27. Marshall was a 25-1 something. 25-1-5.
Yeah, let me see if I can find that real quick for us.
I think he was a 25-1-5. Armand's a 25-1. 25.151.
And then he dives to the right-hand side of the start-finish line
Absolute straight.
to avoid having to turn.
Yep.
You don't do that on anything except for the last lap.
It's always fun in public races if you got people right in front of you and you're trying to set that last time and everybody's piling
But
up
then
in
the
turn
problem
one.
is you going into turn one and you're trying to T-bone somebody.
I've locked up so many times. I've put the cart sideways just to slow down for that one. Who got that one?
25-1, 5-1.
We're having all the internet fun today.
Yeah, I guess. I think it's because I'm trying to record the stream, and that's not helping us.
Well, it's recording on Twitch, so we'll see.
Did you set it so that every recording does? Okay,
Yep.
good.
See if that helps.
See if we can free up some bandwidth here. Otherwise, our entire POS is down for K1 speed, and I doubt that's the case. Interesting. Well, we'll follow Rachel here, and she's going to enter the times for sure.
We'll wait for it to pop up on our bracket.
Yeah. Hopefully the bracket's still working correctly. Well, reconnection successful if you're watching on the stream. Welcome
Awesome.
back.
There we go.
There's the camera too. Let's see if we can bring up the bracket again.
Here we go. All right, so we got Marshall and Rachel. That'll be a good race. They're closely timed.
Yeah, not surprised, but
And then the losers bracket will be Andy and Corey.
which means even though Armand got a 25-1.
Yeah, how close were they?
Let's look at the first one. Armand 27 got a 25-1-5-1. Marshall did a 25-1-8-9.
Wow.
No, that means Armand was faster. 25-1-8-1 versus a 25-1-5-1.
Yeah.
Do you guys have the right winner between Armand and Marshall? Because Armand was faster.
Yeah, they're doing it different down here. I don't know.
How would they do it different?
Well, I mean, they're taking the averages of their best times.
What? No, it's best time per race.
Yeah, it was supposed to be best time because we did it wrong the first time we did it.
Best time per race.
We were told this is not King of Speed, this is Boost League.
Interesting. Okay.
So the first few times were based on.
They're doing the average of the entire 8 laps?
No, so like Marshall's best time was a 25.1, and then in that kart, and then the other kart, his best time was a 25.2. Well, his times averaged out better than Armand's, which was a 25.1 and a 25.5.
Oh, so they're doing it between the 2 karts, not in the particular kart.
Oh, interesting.
Okay.
Huh, all right. King of Speed boost style. Got it.
We may need to check to make sure our webcam is up and running, our GoPro. See if we've still got it. Nope, we have to restart, I think. Maybe? Nope, never mind, it's good.
Awesome. All right.
Now it probably disconnected.
Yeah, because
Now it'll probably reconnect.
Yeah, I did that. Connecting.
3 clients.
There it
we
is.
go.
Any of the other cameras work? Yeah, let's not click
Okay, yeah.
We're not feeling that lucky right now.
I started shutting them down.
Yeah, that's all right.
This one.
All right, so they're running the losers bracket now, so it'll be Mon and let's see here. Yeah, so Andy and Corey, Armand and Derek.
Avery, can you put down on the paper that Rachel is saying with points?
All right.
There we go.
And we're going to run the outlaps and see how it goes. So what were we talking about before we got into all this? About how all the drivers are different and how you drive turn 1, I guess.
Driving and how that works, yeah. Being smooth, how weight doesn't really... Weight is a factor, obviously, in physics, but you can find a line and driving style that works for you.
It's not the first thing you should be thinking about when you're trying to learn to drive a go-kart.
I mean, there's people that are heavier. I'm 224 pounds, and there's guys that are heavier than me that run as fast as me, so they stay very competitive as well.
Because when you got an electric motor behind you and it's pulling the right voltage from the battery, it's very similar in acceleration profile.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't override physics, but there's too many other nuances to manipulating the car and driving the circuit that you want to worry about first before you have to worry about weight being a consideration.
Yeah, and for how close the times are, it's not, I mean...
Yeah, and if you even look at the times they run here, Rachel's probably the lightest one, and she's not necessarily getting the fastest times in that particular kart.
Right.
They're very close, but... Now, if you're looking at the scoreboard and you're seeing yellow, that means that the last lap was faster than the previous, but it's not the fastest. So basically you improved, but not overall.
You're looking for purple.
Yeah, purple is your friend. And your second column here is the best time. That's really the only one we care about. As we talk about that,
There's
Armand goes purple,
Yeah.
25.5, so it's his personal fastest lap.
Kart 33 is a very consistent kart, so hopefully he finds something that works for him there.
I'm surprised he goes so wide on turn 5. It seems like some of the guys that are running low 25s are not doing drivers left on 5. They usually try to shortcut it like mid-track and cut in. Or maybe that was just a mistake. Well, I guess we'll see when he comes around to turn 5 again. So. It's a little bit different calling this kind of format versus calling a positional race.
Oh,
because
yeah.
You're really only worried about one car at a time and just a few laps, and you don't really care about positions, so you're not watching for people to pass each other.
No.
I've already got the next race lined
Yeah, it's a different driving style too, I think. A much different driving style. Like I said, when there's people bumping you and people in front of you, you got to get around someone, and the best way to get around them, to me, it's great. ADD mind, you're trying to find the best way through something, and you're just trying to find a line that A is fast if you're defending, B is faster if you're trying to get around someone. But with this, you're all in your head. And there's Corey, who just popped up at 25.42, so a little faster than Armand. But
White flag is out for the last lap.
yeah, it's all in your head. You just got to be very, very consistent and get to know your kart. That's kind of the biggest thing. Every kart's a little bit different. Nuances are just a little different in each kart, and as you get to know them, you drive a little faster and faster.
Was using the brake there in turn 6.
Just settling the back end down a little bit.
Yeah, it might have been just a little bit different. And he jumped up to 25.3, so whatever he did worked for him.
Yep. That's exactly what we were just talking about.
Yeah,
You get to know a kart, and
yeah, just tapping the brake. I mean, hardly anybody does that going into the carousel.
yeah, it worked. And that's the thing. You feel your rear end chatter a little bit, and you just give it a little bit of input on the brake, and it slows it down.
Yeah, because it would settle it and
Yep.
then get it to rotate in. And he either did that on purpose or he was very skilled in
Yeah.
manipulating that.
Yeah. They talk about like Formula One drivers and that, and different cornering that everybody does, and some people corner directly in like a Rachel or a Marshall. They're very direct in their cornering to come out as straight as they possibly can, and then there's other people that can keep their momentum and go, arcing it more like I do, coming into an arc and keep your momentum. But there's just different ways of driving the same kart that works for the driver.
And it's tough to learn that in only 8 laps.
Yeah.
Even a 12-lap race, sometimes you'll get 6, 7, 8 laps into it before you realize that this kart needs this maneuver or that bit of handling.
Yeah.
8 laps is even harder to do.
The endurance races are fun because you've got so many laps to work with, and your optimum tire temperature coming in and everything like that as you get going. That's like, you've been to other places. These are lithium batteries, so you've got a very consistent draw on the battery until it dies. So you can set faster and faster and faster and faster laps as everything warms up and you get more in your groove for it.
And that's very important to have for the King of Speed competition, which we're running tonight. Because if you're just running traditional batteries, you'd have to pull that cart in, you'd have to bring it back to full charge, and then swap the cart in order to make this work. We don't have to do that, thankfully, because our carts can run for quite a long time without having to worry about charging the batteries. So what they're going to do now is they're going to swap carts. So the one that Armand was in, Derek is now going to be the driver, and we're going to see what Derek can do in that car. Same thing with Andy and Corey. So Corey was originally in cart 32, so he's going to be in car 9 now, and the converse with Andy. You having a problem with your
Wi-Fi.
Is it connecting to the GoPro though?
Yes.
Because you might have stopped at a spot that might have dropped connection. I think that's probably just an issue with. There we go.
Oh, perfect.
I think that's just where he landed when the
Awesome.
car stopped. We'll see how they sort themselves out. Who wants to go to the back?
Yeah.
It's kind of funny that I've seen drivers now in the second stint get in the car and just warm up the tires. Mm-hmm. Car's already been driven for 8 laps. Tires are already warm.
Yep.
It's just a creature of habit. Now this would be an interesting strategy. If Derek wants to stay right behind Andy, he certainly can, even though he's not concerned about passing him. Maybe a little bit of motivation.
Yep. Yeah, and that's what I was saying, is the only time you're really going to bunch up in King of Speed is if you've got a buddy, and I know Eric and Andy and Derek are friends, so Andy going out there and giving him a good line to follow helps significantly.
And that may be working because look at the gap. He's closing in on him quick.
Yeah.
Let's see what they record on their first lap times.
It always helps. Like I said,
Andy's just sliding sideways. The tires may be warm, but that doesn't mean that you can't slide.
When I go out and I show people lines, I always tell them if you can get on my bumper, bump my bumper, and let me know you're behind me. But wow, Derek went past Andy.
Yeah, he's going to give him some room too, which means Andy's going to have to sacrifice that lap, which is very valuable in only a 8-lap time span.
James, we're not doing any times down here.
I see that.
Yeah, we noticed.
Check the scoreboard out real quick.
Yeah, give us just a minute to check and see what's going on here.
What do you think for the final race between the two? Give them a full race? 14 lap? Or shorten it down?
Depends on what time it is.
It's true, 9:03.
I'm going to send the command to restart the timing service.
Yeah, I just did that.
Then you're going to have to wait and see after somebody passes the timing line what happens.
I'm gonna have him just come up and try it real quick.
There we go. Well, that'll be the fastest time.
Yep, 12.5. All right, we got a
Armand
new
will be
record.
happy with that.
Yep. 9-second lap. Wow, he bested himself. How about that? All right. I love this. If anybody ever tunes into this stream, you're going to watch us in a few months and be like, holy crap, what a difference. And I can't wait because...
those first ones were garbage.
I know. Well, no, it's a learning curve. It's, you go out and you...
Wait, we've already got a background.
We do. I mean, listen.
How much more professional can you be?
You can't. Behind this, just with this background, you imagine you're in an oasis. I mean, you look behind this, it's nothing but palm trees and sand, I promise.
Or old construction materials.
I love it. No, this is something that I'm super excited about. Like James said in the very beginning, both of us are racers, and two different types of racers for sure, but both very competitive racers. And I think there's tremendous value to stuff like this, where you sitting at home can watch this and learn from very skilled drivers and that. But don't be discouraged about seeing 25-second times. Every one of us started somewhere, and it's something that it's fun. And as we add more to this, and you see the different formats we do and the different things we start doing here at K1 Speed North Canton, it's something you can come out and enjoy no matter what skill level you're at, and have a ton of fun at it.
Yeah, because I'm just looking at the racer profiles for the guys that are on track right now. Armand has run 289 races here. Corey,
that's it? Wow.
Yeah, it's actually not a ton, but
yeah.
Corey has run 365, one for every day of the year. Andy's run 200 races, and Derek has run 176 races. So these guys are definitely not new to this circuit at all.
Yeah, it's great.
I think somebody's beckoning us from behind.
Yes. Yeah, I'm going to go back to the palm trees here. Nope, they left.
We didn't respond, so they think that we're gone.
That's all right.
So we're hiding up here. In a land far, far, far away from the track.
Right.
But actually, if you look at the track, right about here,
there.
We're up there.
Up in the corner there. Someday we might cut a window into it so we can wave out to the track.
Yeah. And then we'll realize how far behind our stream is lagged, and we'll start talking about the wrong thing. No, going back to the point you had a second ago, one of the reasons we want to do this is because it's a unique sport. And you hit the nail on the head the other day when you said if people were going to be interested in watching this kind of thing, the thing that makes it different is that they can come tomorrow and do the exact same thing.
Yeah.
You can't do that in all forms of a lot of sports. You can't do that. You can't go play on a professional football team. You can't go play against professional soccer players. You can't even drive an F1 car.
Right.
I mean, but in this sport, you can literally show up tomorrow and race the same car that Derek is driving right now.
Yep. And I mean, the cost of entry, we've got professional race teams, professional racers, semi-professional racers. We've got all sorts of different guys that come here, and it really is a discipline that you can get into for really a reasonable cost. You're using James's equipment, thank you. Every time you hit a wall, just think it's James's cart. Okay?
We lease it out with happiness.
Exactly, but I mean, you don't have to spend thousands of dollars setting up a race car to come out here and be, one, competitive, and two, have a whole bunch of fun with your friends and meet new people that have a lot of different interests. There's, from the backgrounds, even in this league itself, you've got engineers, you've got that was crazy.
Yeah, I don't know why you stopped right there.
I don't either. That's a bad. I have been rear-ended.
Good thing they didn't hit
significantly
each
there.
other; just
Yeah.
flew right on by.
But there's all different types of people, from dishwashers to engineers to everybody, and I love racing, especially entry-level racing. Of this, you can take it very entry level, play with your friends, and you can take it to very serious levels and compete in our 12 hours, which is attracting a national crowd. So hopefully that continues down that road. But there's not too many forms of racing you can watch live stream and then the next day jump into the same equipment and race.
And that's a key too. I mean, the exact same equipment. Because you've run spec series before.
Yeah.
Even though it's a spec series, you still don't. You don't have the exact same equipment. You can't drive the same car necessarily.
Right.
You can prepare a car similarly, but it's different.
Yeah, and it's a massive credit to how close these cars are together in spec. They all have their little nuances of different handling, and people always ask what the fastest carts, slowest carts, blah blah blah. And I always say that
I hate that question.
I know you're trading off. One cart might be a little bit slower on a straightaway, but it's got a little bit better of a handling feel, a little bit lighter in the steering wheel. Some carts might be a little bit faster in the straightaway, but they're a little looser in the turn. So, but either way, it comes down to the driving of the cart, and you've just got to be able to be open enough with your driving ability to drive all of it. So it really levels the playing field.
So we'll switch over here to our bracket, and before they fill it out, but obviously Armand took the fastest of that particular heat. They're going to compare that against the previous heat. 25.4 still, well, no. It's not going to be 25.4. It's going to be the best time of that. We'll have to figure out what that is.
My guess would be...
Because he was doing a testing lap. Right
Yeah,
before
so
the
my
meeting,
guess would be Armand and Andy.
Yeah, I believe so.
It's going to be close between Armand and Corey,
so they
though.
just populated with Corey, so Corey's going to take that, and Armand's going to be the other driver to advance to the losers round 3.
So up next will be Marshall and Rachel.
Possibly, unless they're going to run Corey and Armand, but...
Oh, yeah. We'll see what they're doing trackside.
Yeah.
We don't know much. We're just up here.
Just flying blind.
Yeah, that's all right. All right, camera works, though, so we're off to a running start.
Every time I click on that camera, is it going to show
I
up?
hold my...
It doesn't like going away.
It really
Back.
doesn't. It's jealous.
It is. It says, how dare you cut away to the championship scoreboard.
There it is. Okay. What is your fastest time here? I guess boost and unboost, but overall.
It's if I remember correctly, it's a 25.38.
Okay.
I'd have to go back and double check on the fourth decimal place, but
See Rachel dancing around. I know a lot of us run kartos in our helmets, and it makes it fun for the leagues because you can talk to everyone else that's out on the track, but you also can have your music in there too if you like jamming out. And I know we've got rental helmets with kartos in them too, so if you have your friends or whatever and you want to use the kartos and the rental helmets, or for a birthday party, whatever. I forget what they're used on that side of it for, but it's a lot of fun to be able to talk to your friends while you're out on track like that.
Yeah, it adds a whole new dynamic.
Yeah.
Because if you've ever been riding and you have to wait till the end to talk about the things that happened, well, they've already happened. So
Yeah.
you want to talk about them while they're occurring.
It is a lot of fun. It changed the game when we started doing that, because you, especially in the leagues and going out on track, but that's a whole bunch of fun because you're just kind of arguing with your friends the whole way. But teaching people how to race and the lines and stuff, it was a game changer. And I'm sure the one-on-one lessons that you do here, using that, you can follow behind someone and watch their footwork and watch their turning and be able to help adjust where they're turning in and what their footwork is to really help them get faster on the track. I thought, teaching people how to do it, it was a game changer to be able to communicate with them real time instead of after the race. This is turn 2, blah, blah, blah. You kind of forget that, but if you're on track doing it, it's a lot easier to remember that way.
Yeah, you need to hear the instruction as you're actually doing it, not a lap later.
You see the stickers on the back of Marshall's helmet there. He's won Boost League twice, and he was on the winning team for the 12 hours. So you got 3 stickers there.
And of course, we're referring to the 12 hours as the 12 hours of Canton, which is a 12-hour endurance racing. And if you're wondering how we do that, it involves teams and kart swaps. So we open up the pits, and when you come in, you stop, and then your teammate picks up a brand new car, a charge car, and you keep racing. So it's 12 hours of constant racing.
Yeah, you guys can check that out on our stream, social media, stuff like that. The 12 hours of Canton. I know we're on 12 hours of Canton right now. Was our backup for during the 12 hours. We had to create a new one real quick, but there's a lot of content on there, and it's a lot of fun. Definitely check that out.
On track now, we're going to have Rachel, Armand, Corey, and Marshall. So we're actually going to run both heats at the same time.
Gotcha.
So we don't have to do a semifinal and a losers round at the same time. Karts 25, 21, 8, and 35.
See, this is where once we have a pretty good following on our streams and that, I would put it out to the stream and say, get in the comment section and tell us how many laps we should run for the final race between the last 2 people. Should it be 4, 8, or 12? Or 14? No, 4, 8, 12, or 14, I guess would be the way to run it.
Yeah, if you do 14, that would be a full race.
Mm-hmm.
I think the official rules or the final one gets down to a 4-lap challenge.
Really? Okay. That would be fun to watch.
Let's double check that though. Nope, I stand corrected. It's all 8 laps. So the first 2 rounds are 10 laps, but we've shortened it to 8 laps. So Armand, quickest of the timesheets, right on lap 1, 25, well, now 4.
Yeah.
Now he's into lap 2. And you are on board now with Marshall in kart 35 as he goes and heads towards the timing line. 25, 4.67, a .016 difference. They are neck and neck.
Yeah, they are 2 drivers that, like we said about Marshall, he figured something out for sure, but they are drivers that are very, very fast, very consistent drivers.
So those guys are actually not competing against each other. So right now it's Corey against Armand and Marshall against Rachel. So
25-2.
let's see where Rachel ends up as she comes across the timing line for the 4th lap. See if she can improve a little bit of that. It's kind of yeah, she did. She was 9/10 behind everybody else, which was unusual for her. So we're down to 7/10.
Rachel's one of those drivers where the first few laps, she's almost feeling the kart out, warming everything up. And then she really turns something on. We saw it in the 12 hours race where something clicks and she just really, really eats away at her time.
Armand pulling off to the side there to give him room, make sure he's got clean lap space, clear track ahead of him. I was watching Marshall go through the carousel back there, and it looked like he was running a little bit wider in this particular car. It'd be interesting to see if he tightens that up as the tires get warmer here. Usually by lap 5, you're up to operating temperature. Let's see where he ends up right here. He'll cut hard left and then cut right in the apex. Yeah, okay, that looks a little tighter than what he did last lap.
Yeah, 25.19.
Well, he was listening to me, so of course, you know, driver extraordinaire, coach,
Yep.
part-time announcer, co-host.
Yeah, right. Rachel's she was running a 26.2. Now she's down to 25.8. Must not like that kart too much.
White flag is out. Last lap. Flying laps will count as Marshall racks up a 192. Some of the fastest times we've seen all night.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, too, they are still running the boost button. This is Monday night. The boost button is enabled. We can't tell exactly if these guys are hitting the boost button or where they're hitting the boost button. Oh, 25.049.
Wow.
Almost into the 24s. Wow. Almost. He's excited about that. He likes it. As you can see the applause from his yellow driver's gloves. And now they're going to get to swap karts and see who can beat that time in that kart. If anybody can beat that time in that kart.
Yeah, it'll be Rachel in kart 35 now. With warm tires coming out of 25. Rachel's one of those drivers that likes the tight karts. She likes a very, very tight steering kart. She's one of those drivers that comes in an apex very tight and then just wants to come straight out of it.
Wants to point and run, basically. Yeah. I kind of like that too. We were doing some testing with some cars the other day, and the more we tightened up that steering, the more pointed the car was, the better it felt to drive. I guess the flip side of that, though, is it's not always the best in traffic because you don't get any sliding whatsoever. Got to adjust the important things in life here.
Right. The anklet. The Jamaican anklet.
Yeah, good luck charm. I noticed too, I was going to say, well, I wonder why they're turning the karts off, but I realized that they're resetting their boosts.
Yep.
Just in case somebody pressed it 50 times during the 8 laps.
I am not racing out there tonight. I am the 50. The 8 laps, I'll go through 50 boosts.
You're just holding the boost button down the entire time?
As soon as I see that tachometer go down, I'm like, boop, no, there's another boost. Could be in the middle of an apex or coming into an apex, and I'll still be on it.
So you said we're still programmed for 6 seconds on boost tonight.
Correct,
okay.
yeah.
Which is, we were on 4.5 or 5 for
5,
indoor.
yep.
We had opened up the outdoor track because the weather got warm here in Northeast Ohio, and now it's gotten cold again, so we're still on the outdoor track set up for the boost button.
Which is plenty, because a lot of these drivers, they don't like the boost in the tight turns, 2, 3 coming in that way. They'll only use it on the straight. It's funny, Rachel, one of the drivers, I know Armand has done it as well, but these guys have raced entire races with us and forgot about the boost button because they were so into their driving.
Which is incredible, because the whole reason you come on Monday night is you play with the boost button.
Yep.
And then to get out of the car and say, I forgot to press the boost button.
Yeah. Well, Rachel's first lap, 25.4, so she probably likes 35 a little better, which getting down to that 25.0 for Marshall is going to be some work.
Yeah, it's doable. We still got 6 laps to go. Again, Marshall was in kart 35, and they've swapped. So that's the whole King of Speed format: is you get to drive a car, and you drive it. You swap it with another driver to see if they can beat your time in that exact car.
Yep, 25.3.
And we get to do this because of lithium batteries.
Yes. Yep.
There's no gradual die off. If you're used to going an indoor go-kart track and you have a gradual fall off, well, she dropped it down to a 25.3. That's good. She's making her way there.
Lead acid batteries, though, you have to set a lap within the first 3 laps, and then the cart just slowly goes back down. But
yeah, you'll see the inverse of that here, because like we just saw with Rachel, is you'll get faster as the laps go on, and the only reason you can do that is because your battery power remains the same throughout the entire stint.
And if you look at, you can see Rachel's steering wheel here. You can see her boost button is not being activated because
No,
the way
she's
her
not
hands
even
are
near
at,
it.
she's not using. Oh,
No, that wasn't it. Wasn't it.
So still no boost. Like I said,
Let's see if she goes an entire lap without pressing it.
Yep.
If I were her, I'd be pressing it right about
Here. Yep. And that carries you all the way through, almost to the back there, but.
Yeah, I'm thinking that.
Oh,
there it was.
Yep.
There it was.
Yep. So she likes boosting coming into there. I guess that makes sense. It's a slower.
That's a little tricky.
Yeah.
You have to feel confident where the car lands.
Very much.
Well,
25.49.
24.99. We have our first 24 of the night, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow.
And it
Okay,
was that
so
boost.
now I'm going to boost back
It was
there.
that boost. Exactly.
Let's see if she does it again here.
No?
No.
Finger off the button.
She hit it right there in the apex.
She hit it and she broke the camera.
Yep.
No.
Either she's going to get right by Marshall or, 7 laps or 1 lap to go. I don't think she's going to worry
Alright,
about
so
it.
Let's check and see. So Marshall's time was a 25.049 in that car. And Rachel in car 25, just ahead of us, was a 25.89. And she's going to bump him. That was like Mario Kart.
Yeah.
Boom. Marshall did best her time on kart 25, but Rachel beat her his time in kart 35. So you have basically the inverse of each other. Wow, what a time! Little fist pump right there.
24.995. Wow.
Congratulations, Rachel. That was good.
We haven't had too many 20. Have we had a 24?
I was going to ask you, but I was afraid to look like an idiot because I probably should know.
I don't think we've actually had a 24. Even in Boost League, I don't think we've had a 24. I don't think so. I think everybody's gotten really close. I don't think we've ever got one.
Have we ever had a 24 second even in Boost?
Yeah, Marshall got 24 one. It was on the score sheet for the last 2 months until someone finally took it off.
That car didn't count though.
That was the turned up
cart. Yeah, because the cart that was in 25. It had been sitting in the back.
Oh well, don't tell her because she thinks she has a track record now.
Oh, she does technically. Yeah, because that one was
For
still
Boost.
That was still turned up.
I mean, as far as regulation play and Boost, I think that is our fastest indoor time.
That is. Yep.
I mean, for Boost.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I said. Regulation Boost.
Yeah, when the carts sit in the back sometimes when you're waiting on parts and that, and I know the end of the year, the Christmas party I think we did for Boost, and we had the carts turned up a little bit and just playing around with some different settings, and
that's right when we broke the cart.
Yep, and then the one sat in the back for a while, and
he broke the cart.
I didn't. Yeah, that guy. But so yeah, as we started pulling all the carts out for the 12 hours, and we put one out there, and we were like, "Holy smokes, this cart's fast!" And Marshall took it out, and
of course Marshall was doing the test driving.
Yeah,
you could hear it. I mean, it was coming down the front straightaway, and it was winding up higher pitch than all the other cars.
It sounded like an angry pack of hornets. It was crazy.
Went and grabbed the programmer right away. We said that doesn't sound right.
Yeah. So she has the fastest official time for Boost and indoor.
If you're wondering about like top speeds of the cars and stuff like that, just know these cars are running at about 40% capacity of what the motor can actually do.
Yep.
The motors are so powerful, they'll just spin the wheels right off the thing. It actually makes it just undrivable.
We've tried it.
Put so much power down.
Yeah, it's coming out of the turns. It just immediately spins the tire, and it's not fun that way.
You've got a contact patch of about that wide on the back of a go-kart tire, and you obviously don't have a lot of weight because it's only 1,500 pounds plus the driver, so putting that much power to the ground becomes almost impossible.
Yep.
So I know we like to advertise the top speed of 45 miles an hour, but you have to do that over a very long period of time because you just have to keep accelerating through the whole thing. And yeah, it can go 45, but just not on an indoor track necessarily.
Yeah, the outdoor track's a lot of fun because it gives you a little bit of a straightaway to it. And wow, Marshall got her.
So yeah, because of the format, who's going to be the winner of the losers bracket? Is that going to be... Did they put that in the right spot? Is that going to be Armand or is that going to be Corey? It's got to be Corey. Yeah. No, I'm reading that wrong. It's going to be Rachel and Armand facing off.
Yep, Rachel and Armand.
So they got to run this so that they can pull us over here to the finals and get the winner of the losers bracket.
It was happy with the switch this time.
Oh no, it's going to go away again.
Will it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
That was the buffer.
Got it.
And now we're probably going to get an updated stream here in about 3 seconds as it reconnects. And we got 3 clients. There we go.
There we go.
Who do we have? Oh, that's Brian.
With his hood up.
Yeah, didn't recognize him.
And when he shaved, I didn't recognize him for the first couple days.
Well, now he looks weird because he just has a rough beard. We're just waiting for him to set up the final race here. Are we going to do it in kids' carts? No, 'cause
I'm not touching a kid's cart.
corporate said that that's not allowed.
36?
We're on the stream. I'm turning red.
Yeah, right. No more comments from here. Table likes to move around.
Yeah, it does.
Try to lock it in. Maybe we should drop in some interviews here.
Yeah. I don't think the mic is on with it. Turn the mic on and see what they're saying.
Come this far, what the hell? Who's going in what first?
Yeah.
Okay.
I probably added reverb to it. We're now approaching 9:30 on the East Coast time, and you can see how long that the King of Speed competition takes to run.
With a lot of people, it takes a long time to run this race.
Yeah, you got to narrow these people down quickly, but it takes time. Actually, I'm going to check the stream and see.
In case anybody's wondering, Armand, you're seeing him with his helmet on, but he is the bald guy from the 12-hour stream. So are
I
they...
thought this was between Rachel and Armand.
That's what I thought.
It's over. If he wins, you can technically go again and face him again in 2 different carts.
How about you go in and change the based on this plan?
They can hear me.
Listen, we're going off the top. We're like, it's wings, just like every other boost league, okay? 8. It's off the top.
follow that. So I thought it would be them two and then narrow it down to one to compete against Marshall.
Honestly, the original user from all the way round one. Well, he jumped out there. We'll just watch the timing and scoring and see what happens. Time report again.
Maybe it's a grudge match. Maybe Marshall is the
Okay, race control. We got a question as to why this is not between Mitchell and Armand. She forfeited.
because the series is already decided. Because Armand clinched the series for the boost points because it's the last race, so it wasn't even worth her running.
Okay, because as far as Boost League is concerned, the series is correct. So now it's just between these two guys and that's it? 24.875. Wow. That's the fastest lap of the race.
Yes, it is.
So tonight. But the good news is that Armand's going to get the swap and see if he can best that early. I wonder which boost he uses. Armand wasn't so tall we'd be able to see the boost button.
Yeah, I know. Every time you would figure you need to boost the helmet to the button.
Yeah, so what they're referring to is that we did run a points championship race all the way back to January for the Boost League. Points awarded every Monday, and Armand and Rachel were the only two people in contention for first place. And so with the championship being what it is, Armand's picking second and third tonight. Series. Tonight being a whole separate event, it only plays into one piece of the whole puzzle here, which is an entire series. Oh, we get to watch him drive this car. See how many times he presses the boost button.
Yep.
Not too shabby. Sure what you got him on. I want to see you get a 24/7.
So the time to beat is 24.875.
That's crazy.
Good luck, Armand. Yeah, that's another example of these people starting to think that one part is slower than the other. But let's keep in mind that they have no idea what these cards are going to be. So they come in one day, it may be different than the previous day.
Yeah, even minor differences when bearings get replaced and stuff like that makes a difference to the car.
Or new tires. Wow, Marshall already setting at 25.87 on the first lap. Come on, coming up there, 2.73. Again, 24.875 is the time we're looking for to see if he's going to be able to beat the time of Marshall in that same car. previously Armand was in car 36. His best time was 25.54. So we're not expecting low 25s to this car. The one we're looking out for is Armand is the time. That was the one that's 24.875. There's purple again. Anytime you can go purple, it's always a good thing.
It's only got a couple laps to do it though. I think Marshall set that time on his third or fourth lap, and then he just kind of cruised from there. I think. Towards the end of it, yeah. There's 25.06. Yeah.
3 laps remain. Can Armand get down into the 24s, or can he beat the 24.875 or 29? No, does not improve on that lap. Slightly slower. 25.125. I think he'd be happy if he gets in that 24.
I don't think he's made it into the 24s yet.
I don't think so. It's going to be tricky to figure out where to put the boost button. White flag out. Marshall goes past the start-finish line. We'll have Armand joining here in just a second. He's not improved in that lap. He's got 1 lap to best his time.
Crazy too when you get to racing at this kind of a level, you know
Flags out.
instantly when you mess up a lap. No, 25.177.
25.063. Best that Armand can do in car 29.
Yep.
Does not break into the 24s, but still a very valiant time.
Yep. So Armand is the overall boost spring, or I guess winter season winner.
Yeah, congratulations, Armand.
Yeah.
Very good job.
Very good job. Yep.
I think that probably finishes Rachel in second.
Yeah.
Overall boost standings in front of us, but that'll also bring Marshall to the winner of the King Speed and the last boost event of the season.
Yep.
Final thoughts before we head out?
No, spring. Spring boost will be starting. I think we're gonna take a week or two off of boosts competitively, and it'll be open boost nights on the Mondays, and then we'll roll into the spring series, which will be a lot of outdoor racing for that. Hopefully, weather dependent, but hopefully, and then rolling into the Twilight Endurance Series race on the outdoor track, which will be fun.
Yeah, we're trying to roll that into September. We'll be looking for announcements on K1 Speed or K1 Speed Canton social media websites, that kind of thing. That has yet to be determined, but we're definitely going to be running that in September.
Yep.
And of course, it all leads to the granddaddy of them all, 12 hours.
12 hours of Canton in March 2024, so that'll be exciting. But yeah, thanks for checking out the stream, and we'll be working on it as we go and figuring out all the fun streaming stuff that you got to figure out and adding to it, always adding to it.
As we follow Marshall out, thanks for watching, guys. We hope to see you.
Sorry. It was alright.
I just